Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Mystery Stamping. I am Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and I have a different type of fold for my mystery stamping today. And so I don't normally do things, quite like this. I usually try to do pretty straightforward and very easy to reproduce type thing. And this one's not a fun fold, but it is a little bit different, but it's not hard, and I think it turned out super cute. So we will get started with our pieces. Excuse my voice, it's still pretty raspy. We have a card base, and I hope the instructions were clear. It's an 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, which I did do that. And then I put down to cut it down to 7 inches, but not to discard that piece. And that piece was 1.5 by 5.5, and then you cut that piece down to a 4-inch piece. So I hope that was not too confusing on that. So this is just the other end of my actual card base, and we cut it off, and then you cut this little bit off the end. So that's how you do that. And then that way you can serve on your paper rather than just cutting this piece out and then now cutting other pieces. So we just did out of one piece, and then that's how we got our 2 pieces. And then the next piece is 5 1/4 by 4 for your inside. And then we have a 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. That was, I think it was this piece. No, it was this piece, I think, that I put the wrong measurement down, and I had to go back and change it for my clues. And then there was another piece also, but I think they're all correct now. And then our cardstock piece for background stamping, or it could be for DSP. So I chose to do the new DSP, and that piece is 2.5 inches by 5 inches. And so there's that piece. So if you had this piece, you would either do it in vanilla or white or a lighter cardstock, and then you would have a small stamped image that you could stamp all over it. But I chose for DSP. I love it when DSP can work for us. And then our actual cardstock piece, that is definitely cardstock, is 2.5 by 5 1/4. And then I have another piece of DSP, and this is 1 by 5 1/4. And the first set of clues I had it at 4 1/4, but I corrected that, so 1 by 5 1/4. And then if you were going to do the cardstock versus the DSP on the larger one, then you would need images that could be used as a soft background stamp. So that is our clues. So I'm going to go ahead and do some of the stamping ahead of time, and then when it comes time to put the card together, we'll be good to go. So this is the piece for sentiment, and I did at least tell you what was for the inside and what was sentiment. So I'm going to bring these over, and I'm going to bring in my garden green, because that's the color of my background piece there. And I'm going to start stamping. This says Merry, and the other one says Christmas. I'm still working on Christmas cards. I'm almost finished with them. So I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp on my sentiment. So you can put whatever sentiment you need on yours. And that looks pretty good. It's on my Stamp Crooked, but that way I won't just look at the block. I'm looking at the actual words. So there's that. And we're going to ink up this one as well. Stamp that one there. And I have Merry Christmas. So that is all the stamping I'm doing. It's already finished, out of the way. So I'm going to sit that up there to dry for just a moment. I'm going to take my card base. I'm going to fold it on that score line. Crease it well. So it goes like that. I'm going to take my white piece that's for the inside. Got ink on that already. I'll put it at the bottom. Don't even see ink on my fingers, but apparently I have ink on my fingers. So we're going to add our inside piece. You're going to turn it. It's going to be a landscape card. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close this down, and I want to look about where I need to put my DSP. That little strip is going to be for our inside. So I'm going to close this top flap down when I place my DSP, and I'm going to give it, as easy as I can, equal border top and bottom right here, what will show. You just slide it down just ever so slightly. So about like that. So that's probably about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. Kind of like that. And then then we're going to add our DSP, if it is DSP, to our cardstock. And if it's if you made this cardstock, you need to get that all stamped, and then you will add it to this piece of cardstock. I just love this paper. It's really cute, and the images aren't really large. Sometimes when they're large, it makes it harder to do a card quite like this. I find it easier if it's on landscape to look at this long piece here to line it up. But as I'm putting it down, I can kind of see each corner. But having that long span as opposed to this one trying to line it up, I am more likely to have it lined up with an equal border if I do it in the landscape mode. That's just me. It might just be the way I visualize things, but that's just a tip to let you know if you have trouble, getting it equally laid out. So now that I'm doing the same thing with the flap, I just opened it up so that it would lay flat is all I did. So it's there on the front. Isn't that really cute already just that way? So now I'm going to take my sentiment and my cardstock layer. I'm going to add that together. So now I can see that it should be pretty straight and equal. And then you can either glue this on the front or you can add dimensionals. I glued my first one, but this next one I'm going to add dimensional. So I'm going to bring this down just till it gets to that strip of the cardstock layer, and then lay it here together. Then grab my dimensionals. So this piece is kind of holding that red background down. So then I know to put my dimensionals right here along this edge, not all the way down, but so I'm not even covering up all of my green layer. I'm just kind of giving it over the DSP and that green. So kind of like that. So now all I have to do is take my backings off. I did overlap where the DSP and the cardstock was to keep it from pulling just the DSP or something like that off. Lay this back down and just bring this up. Try to line it up before I press. And there we go. So there is my card. Merry Christmas. Now if I have any gems or anything, which I have some right here, then you can add those to your card. Spruce it up a little bit more. So I'll put one there. One up here. And I think I'll put one down here on this snowflake. There we go. I made certain it wasn't under this. And I could add more to it, but that's just enough for me. So there we go. So there is my card for our mystery stamping. And so this is the mystery solved of the clues. So I hope that you find this card very adorable and easy to make. It just makes it where you use the piece that you cut off. That makes it where you're, not wasting cardstock. I don't think I ever really waste cardstock, but that way you're using the rest of your card base. And there's really just, if you're doing 2 of the cards at the same time, you really can just cut the piece off. What I do is I score a full page at 4 1/4, and then I would cut that end piece off. So I'd cut it down to 7 inches, the whole thing, and then I would cut it in half at 5 1/2, and the strip that was left, I would cut it down for my pieces here. So you could mass produce these in that way. If you leave them together and then do it that way, you could mass produce these fairly easy. So I thought it turned out really cute. I love this little snow scene of, the little houses with the mountains in the background, and then down here the little snowflakes and things. I love that our DSP coordinates so well together. So there you go. And so I want to thank you for joining me and crafting along. And hopefully you will join me for the next mystery stamp. So happy stamping. Bye-bye.